Well, hello, everybody. My name is Nicole Curtis. I'm with She Rises Studios, and I'm with these two beautiful ladies who co authored in the book The Heart of a Mother. It's an anthology book that released for Mother's Day, and it's super exciting. Hello, ladies. How are you?
We're great. How are you, Nicole?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm so excited to have a conversation with you, ladies. So, this book, the ebook released, paperback released this past Tuesday. How exciting! Congratulations.
Yay.
Is this your first book that you've written in?
No.
Well,
It's
that's awesome.
it's not it's my first book with She Rises, but not my
Oh,
first
cool.
book.
Oh, gotcha. Cool. Awesome. I love this. So, let's just dive right in. What inspired you to write in the Heart of the Mother book?
I'll let Linda go first.
What inspired me is I wanted to share the two women in my life that made helped make me who I am. And so that was my mom and my mother-in-law. And my mom passed a couple of years ago. My mother-in-law is going to be 92 this coming month. And it's more of a love letter to them that I wanted to share with everyone. So my mother-in-law's been in my life for 45 years. So
That's precious. I love that. I
yeah,
love that. Thanks for sharing.
thanks.
I'm on the same wavelength as Linda. This definitely was homage and a tribute to my late grandmother, who was like a second mother to me, who passed away in September. And also, I just really wanted to honor my other grandmom on my dad's side, my abuela, and my mom, like just three generations, and then me trying to pass this down to my 13-year-old daughter. There were so many lessons that they instilled in us that I just want people to know about. And I don't think when my grandparents, like on my mom's side, immigrated to this country from Mexico, they ever expected or thought, that their granddaughter would end up being an author and that their names would be published in a book with their picture. So I think my grandmas are both smiling down, my abuelas are both smiling down from heaven. Just super grateful for this opportunity to be able to do this. So
I
it's
love
my
that.
love letter to them.
Yay. Hi, Sonia.
Hi, everyone. Good to see you all.
I'm so glad that you're here.
Thank you.
Uh,
Likewise.
so the question I asked is what inspired you to author in the heart of a mother of the heart of the mother book?
Oh, so great. So I'm Sonia Rodriguez. I'm a psychotherapist and women's life transition coach. I live in New Jersey and I love being a mother. I have three children of varying ages and stages of life. And I have the most
Mhm.
amazing relationship with my own mother. And I just really wanted an opportunity to be able to talk about that. But I also wanted
Mhm.
to be able to talk about the challenges of being a mom because I think as a mother, we always feel like we have to have it all and keep everything together and recognizing that it is hard and it's hard to
Yeah.
balance being a mom with work. It's hard to balance being a mom with life. And it's so important to know that we should all be able to reach out to one another when we're struggling or when we need strategies or tips for figuring things out and recognizing that our children will challenge us at all stages of life
Yes.
and to have a support system in place. So I just loved the opportunity to be a part of this and have dedicated it and I'm sharing a copy with my own mom.
Yay! I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
So just a question to ask, and you can popcorn in whoever wants to answer it, or if you all want to answer it. But when you think of your own mother or a maternal figure in your life, what's one moment that defies her love or strength for you?
You cut out, Nicole. So what was the question?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's
Thanks for
okay.
letting me know that. No, I apologize. When you think of your own mother or maternal figure in your life, what's one moment that defines her love or strength for you? And anyone can join in and
I
answer
I
that
will
question.
I will say that as an adult going through a difficult time, I went through a really difficult divorce, and my mom's support was just amazing. And she's helped me navigate life afterwards. And it's just been very, very important to have that relationship with her, and also to just have that support for raising my own children. So I've appreciated that.
I love that. Thanks for sharing, Sonia.
Sure.
So I can chime in. I can think of two things. One, I can think of me as a teenager thinking I knew it all and expressing that in ways that I'm like, this shows the strength of a mother's love, to not hold your child's words against them when they think they know it all, right?
Right.
And the second one I will say is, again, I think I shared recently about Moni Wednesdays. For the past 17 years, she comes to our house every Wednesday, unless she's out of town, to do whatever. So whether it's babysitting, cooking, rearranging furniture, like you name it, she does it. And it's just absolutely beautiful to see how that has strengthened not only our relationship, but the relationship between her and my children. That's actually like how my youngest learned her days of the week, right? She's like, oh, it's Moni. It's Wednesday. Moni's coming. So,
Aw, that's cute. I love that.
yes, thank you.
I think for me, I was pregnant when I got married at 18, and both my mom and his mom very lovingly tried to tell us that we didn't have to get married. And because I was underage, my parents were actually kind of like, we don't think you should get married because it doesn't usually work out.
Mhm.
And so they were very supportive of the fact that we were going to stay together. They were very fearful that it wouldn't work because those kind of marriages many times do not. But if my husband were still alive, it would be 45 years this year. So when we had made clear the decision we were going to make, both of them supported us fully. And they did that for us our entire lives. I mean, it's just, they didn't question, even if they didn't agree with things that the decisions we were making or the things we were doing, they were there to support us, to help us be successful in those choices. And that's something that I strive to do for my son, our son. And it was, because I was raised Catholic. My husband's family was Presbyterian, but he was an atheist, and my parents were extremely Catholic. So there was all of those things that go into fighting about it. And then, I was underage and I was pregnant, and they were able to put all that aside and to accept him into the family as he was instead of trying to change him. And, back in 1980, that wasn't done very often,
Mhm.
And it's not done a lot now, depending on your culture and how you were raised. But I just found it so, it wasn't just what they did for us, but it was what they modeled for us. And I try to build my life on what's been modeled before me. And they've both given me such great modeling to work from.
I love that. Well, thank you for sharing.
I would say a moment that stuck out for me with my mom is about 16 years ago. I got really sick out of kind of nowhere and ended up flatlining 3 times in the hospital. And so my parents really had to step in. I was kind of at the end of my 20s, and you think that, you're invincible and you can do all these things. And then instead of you taking care of your parents, they're back taking care of you. And I kind of reverted to a childlike state because my lupus had attacked my brain. And so I had to go through this like whole recovery process. But the fact that my parents didn't even blink an eye and just took me right back in when I'm supposed to be helping them, and gave up everything to get me rehabilitated for like over a year. And so grateful that, I'm here to be able to write and speak because, God gave me borrowed time. So I'm
Mm,
thankful for them, thankful for my mom and her strength and her faith and her love. Like, it's what really carried me through on the days that I didn't even think I could get up out of bed.
yeah. Wow. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
So this is for anybody as well. What is the most valuable lesson that you've learned from your mother or maternal figure that you've carried into your life?
So I don't mind starting. I remember my mom telling me to raise kids that other people want to be around,
Hmm.
right? And that's the way that she raised us. And whenever she needed a babysitter, it was never a problem, right? And I took heed and did the same thing with my kids. And I love being around my kids. Other people love being around my kids. It makes such a huge difference with not letting the focus, like, she didn't build her world around us. She incorporated us into her world, right? So she was very much the things are on the table. I will teach you how not to touch the things. Not when we go to somebody's house, they have to move all of the things so you won't accidentally like break something, right? And that has just been huge. We've done that, and I can definitely see the fruit of that with our kids.
Hmm. Love that.
Both my mom and my mother-in-law instilled in us to make sure that we put good values into how we raised our son and how we interacted. And one of the things I remember is that we were usually the youngest parents in my son's age group. So, but we had older parents' values, you know what I mean? So we always raised our son, you make a choice, but you pay the price for the choice you make. So choose wisely because we're not going to let you get out of the decision that you make. And one of the things I think we were able to do was he made mistakes, but he usually didn't repeat the big mistakes. And over time, he learned from the mistakes of his friends. And that was so important to us because, especially in his age group, kids were getting away with all sorts of stuff because their parents were kind of like, no, he didn't do that. And we told him that, hey, we're not dumb. We've been your age. We've been through it all before. We've seen it done. I got the t-shirt. So if that's the way you choose to go, just know that then what happens afterwards is up to you to fix. And that's done us very well, and it did him very well when he was married and he had the stepkids with him. He helped them with responsibility, and I think I've said this before, but there's nothing more rewarding as a mother than when your child opens their mouth and you come out.
Oh, I love that.
It's like, yes, they did hear, they did learn, they were listening.
They were listening. Yeah. Oh, that's precious. I love that.
I would say for me, my mom and my grandmothers, the lessons that they instilled in me that have helped shape me, is that God comes first, and then family and friends, and then work. They've My chapter is a lot about the title is Very Good con Papas, which is it's really good with potatoes. And then it's like cooking up lessons of love, faith, and sacrifice, because a lot of what I learned was around the kitchen. They are
Mm.
they value hospitality, and they realize that food brings families together. Even when you're not always getting along, people want to eat. And they're all amazing cooks. I wouldn't say that for myself. I share that in different ways. I am able to do a lot of things professionally to pour into the next generation. And I feel like I show that love and hospitality through the programs that I host
Mm.
and the people that I meet with. But what I loved was while we were in the kitchen, these life lessons that they have taught me, that, the food can do so much for families, but around that is obviously love, the love that's put into the food. It is that, when you're there, you capture people's attention. People are running directions, but having to have meals together was like so important in my family, and I really appreciate that because I make sure to do that with my daughter. That no devices, no nothing. We're here to talk, and that's when the best stuff would come out. Is everybody gathered around the table because everybody had such busy lives. Like my grandma had 8 children, so my mom's one of 8, and my dad, like his mother, my abuela, she had 7 kids, so it's like one of 7. So the only way to gather all these, aunts and uncles, my tias and tios, my primos, my cousins, like together was to feast. So we would always have Sunday lunch at my grandma's, or holidays or birthday parties. And now my mom has carried that torch because my grandmother passed away in September, and that was the last grandparent I had. But I appreciate everything that was taught to me through that, and helping them in the kitchen, and witnessing firsthand, miracles happening because of these talks and their faith and their prayers and all of that. And thank God for praying grandmas.
Yeah. Amen. Hi, Sonia.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, I love listening to all these stories. They're just so great. Same with me. I came from a very big family and really strong grandmothers. And so it's been nice to have that model for myself. And my mom has been a very strong woman. And so I am so blessed to have had my grandmothers and my mom as a model for me of what a strong woman is and how to bring the family together. So I think that's so important with the food and coming together, and just Sundays are such a big family day for me, and so I think it's so important to carry out those traditions in my own family. Thank you.
I love that. I love that. Well, before we wrap up, I have one more question that I love all of you to answer, and that is, what do you hope readers take away from the Heart of a Mother book?
I think one of the things that's really important to take away is recognizing that mothers can be anyone that you think served as a mother figure to you. And it doesn't always have to be somebody who was, your biological mother. For many people, it's a grandparent or an aunt or another caretaker or even an adoptive mother. But recognizing that a mother can really be anyone who raised you or who supported you, and to recognize that we all experience challenges, and that being a mother is hard, being a daughter is hard. And to just reach out to people and find the right connections when you're struggling. I think that is so important, that we don't have the answers to everything, and just connect with the book, connect with the authors, and connect with the community to make sure that you are not raising your children on your own. So it really does take a village.
Thank you, Sonia.
Sure.
I think the biggest takeaway for me is that there is no one size fits all. There's so many different ways to mother your child, and I think as long as you are doing the best that you can with the information and resources that you have, be willing to admit when you're wrong, and really apply this growth mindset that we understand in some realms to motherhood and parenting as well. Right? That we may not get it right the first time, but that, moms by, I think, design, even if it wasn't I didn't feel that connection when they put the baby in my arms, but right? I, continued to bond and learned how to love my baby and how to love. And, for women who are afraid of, well, I didn't have the best experience, so I don't know if I can be a good mom, that you can learn from other women, other
Mhm.
mothers. So you don't have to repeat mistakes that were made with you. You can arm yourself with positive role models and examples to be the type of mother that you want to be.
Mic drop.
Yeah. I think the biggest takeaway that I can talk about is that I was not supposed to be able to have children. With the hospitalization of 25 days that I had brought up, that my parents stepped in to help me with, had wreaked havoc in my body. And I was just told by doctors I wasn't supposed to be able to carry a child full term, or, be able to conceive because of all the medications and things. And so I just want to remind people that being a mother is a blessing. I think we can go through really tough times because motherhood is not easy. And I know that some will never actually get to be a biological mother, but like as Sandra had said, that we, there's moms that are chosen, right? Whether they're an adoptive mom, they're a stepmom that steps in, or just a tia, an auntie, in your family who steps up because, to be able to help, or like these grandmas that also help do the job because it does take a village. But I just want to remind people like how sacred and beautiful like that journey is. And it, like they say, what the I can't even think of the saying, but it just feels like while you're in it, it can feel a lot and take forever, but it just goes by in a flash. My daughter's 13 now, and she's getting to experience and see all these things that my mom and my grandmother's, these opportunities they never had, and getting to see life differently. And she tells me, I don't think I want to be a mom. It's a lot of work and it's this, that. And I feel like a lot of this generation is really, because they either want to be career focused, but you can do both. It's just obviously you have to put priorities where they go, like God, family, friends, and work. So I just want to kind of remind, as people are reading, this is going to be inspiring. It's going to bring you hope. Maybe you're in a place like you're trying to conceive a child or you're trying to adopt a child. There's so many different kinds of moms out there, and if you've had a mom or a motherly figure, this book is definitely for you. There's going to be stories and lessons that is like timeless wisdom that can be passed down from generation to generation, and it truly is a miracle and a blessing.
Mm.
And I'm hoping that as people read through the stories in the book and the inspiration that's in there, that they understand that you can make motherhood whatever you want it to be. And regardless of what your past looks like, if it wasn't great, you can choose to start new and create a new experience for your children. If your past was great and you want to do that, and you want to pass that on, you can do that. You get to decide. And I hope they find the inspiration in the stories that helps them make the decision of the kind of mom that they want to be.
I love that. Well, ladies, thank you so much for joining me today and being authentic and just sharing pieces of who you are in your story. And thank you so much on behalf of She Raises Studios for being part of the book, The Heart of a Mother. For all of you that may be watching this or catching the replay, The Heart of a Mother, the book is out. It's on Amazon. Paperback just released this past week. Ebook is out as well. You can go ahead and go get your copy and give it to a sister, cousin, mother, grandmother, any female in your life that is either currently in the journey of being a mother or has thought about being a mother, because these ladies, as well as the other ladies that wrote in this book, have powerful, powerful stories. And like was shared, lessons and all different things that you can take and you can move forward with in your life. So again, thank you ladies so much for being here. I appreciate you. And with all of that, I hope you and everybody watching has a great rest of your day. Bye, everybody.
Bye, Nicole. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Congrats on being bestseller, everybody.
Woo!
Yay.